Hello and welcome to Tabletop Cafe, presented by Tabletop Journeys. You can think of us as your roadside diner along your tabletop journey where we serve up bite-sized chunks of gaming goodness. Tonight we are here for a special bonus episode, AcadeCon 2025, the recapping, the review-nation. Joining me as always is my co-host Chris.
Hello, everyone.
Joining us tonight.
Happy to be here.
Oh, yep. Happy to have you, sir. Joining us as always is Lewanika.
Hey, here we go.
And joining us as a special guest fourth tonight to both play MC and interviewer is the Caleb G.
Howdy, all you kids out there in Radio Land.
Is this the first time you've been on Tabletop Journeys? I feel like, didn't you and I do? I thought we were both on a long time ago. But
I can't remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Okay.
I don't remember what I did this morning,
Fair.
so
very, very fair.
I'm just not sure.
All right. So for anyone out
As a
there,
recipient of 11 concussions, please don't ask me if I remember.
but for anyone who, Chris and I are fairly new as regulars here on Tabletop Journeys, Caleb is one of the original co-hosts, sort of. There's like two original. He's the second original co-host of the RPG Academy. He absolutely was foundational to the Detention show, which is heavily influenced what Tabletop Cafe is now, and is at least partially responsible for AcadeCon existing at all. And we thought it only fitting to bring him on and let him run the show tonight as we sort of talk about the event we just got done running. It was a wonderful time. Spoilers, it went well, but we're going to get into some nitty gritty. We have no idea what Caleb's going to ask, but I'm sure it will prompt some good discussions. And I think if we have someone monitoring chat, if anyone has questions, particularly if you were there, we would love for you specifically to maybe mention some things, help us shout out some positives, ask questions if you would like for us to review them. And if you weren't there, loser, come back next year, November 13th, 14th, and 15th in 2026. But with all that out of the way, Caleb, take it over, please.
Hey, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here. I love being on the mics with you guys. I definitely want to try to start doing it more. Life has definitely gotten in the way a lot, but I've got some time in the evening, so if we can carve some time out to get back into the booth, I would love that. AcadeCon is 13 years old, which is wild. Yeah. I'm sure, Michael, you have talked about the journey from where AcadeCon was to where it is now, but me being here, I just have to reminisce a little bit. That first crazy idea you threw at me, and I, for some reason, encouraged you to do it and helped you do it.
Yep. That's why I blame you. You didn't say no when we had a chance. The voice of reason should have been like, no, that's a terrible idea.
I fully shouldered that burden of responsibility here, if only because over the last 13 years, I think this is really become something very, very special. And I know I haven't been as involved as I wanted to be over the last 4 or 5 years just because of life getting in the way. But seeing something that we started on a whim, that we made happen in a crazy hotel in the middle of the woods, with the vultures, with the cougars, with the getting lost and the weird cabins, to what it is now. And just watching something evolve without you. I haven't been hands-on for a while, but you've kept everything going. You've brought in all these people who picked up the mission, who carry that vibe of AcadeCon being so focused on that warm, welcoming, friendly environment. It's cool. It's humbling. It's so impressive to see that you, Michael, inspire so many people. Maybe inspire, maybe bully, maybe coerce.
So I had this.
I don't know.
I had this conversation with Valerie, my wife, at the front desk. We were talking about it, and I do my absolute best to let everyone around me know how much I appreciate them, and I'm sure it still isn't enough because it is a ridiculous amount of effort, energy, and time people have given, and given is the right word because none of us get paid for this. It's all just volunteer work. to do this. And I keep saying, like, I don't know what it is. I don't fully understand it. And I think it came to the realization that I'm like a baby on a balcony and everyone's like, oh God, like if they don't jump in, something bad is going to happen to me. And it's just a sense of like that sort of civic, I can't let this child hurt themselves. So that's why they keep throwing themselves in my way to keep me from bouncing off the concrete.
That is an excellent explanation.
That's all I could come up with.
Or it's just that you're such a great guy and you inspire all of us to your level of greatness.
No, I mean, I got the horns behind me right here. I am not a good guy.
I mean, that's perfect.
I know.
Perfect.
I'm trying to line it up. I kind of.
All right. So this was the 13th year of AcadeCon. How many years have we been in Dayton by this point?
So if you count COVID, 10.
Okay.
Right? No, 9. Right? Because the first 2 were at my house, Houston Woods Lodge. So that would be 10 years, but we missed COVID. So yeah, nine physical years in the building, 10 total. If with the DCC era is 10.
Okay. So let's start right off with what went well this year. 9-ish, 10-ish years doing the same thing, growing every single year for the most part, adding new features every year. Starting with you, Michael, what went well? What did you love this year?
Wow. I would say, I mean, there's so many things. And again, I could talk forever. And so can Lewanika.
Right. I'm not going to let you.
So we're not going to let you. So I'm just going to quickly say, and this is going to sound minimal, but the layout. This was easily our best layout yet. There were still a couple of tweaks that we can make to improve it. But for you, Caleb, probably the biggest change is we had a registration desk out in the lobby, but we had a whole secondary desk inside the game room for the game library, play to win, information desk. Both desks were manned the entire time because we had enough volunteer support to do that. So we sort of divided and conquered the obvious questions that always come up, like where's my game, where do I go, that kind of thing. And then just having that central location, the tables were spread enough apart. Like so many people complimented us on the noise that even though it felt like full and like there was like a background din, especially on Saturday when it was busy, it wasn't like you could hear specifically what was happening. Like you weren't overhearing a different adventure, but there was just like a background roar. And I think our tables were just far enough apart. The open play this year were rectangular banquet tables lined in a row, 5 deep, rather than circular, so that a little more people to foot ratio, right number of vendors spaced out. Like I absolutely just want to rubber stamp with like 2 squiggles and say, just do it again exactly like that next year. And we'll be thrilled. I think the layout was amazing this year. I'm so happy.
And as simple as that is, first off, it is a monumental accomplishment. Organizing, mapping out a layout, planning the rooms, planning the square footage. So much work goes into that. Yes. Before the convention, during the convention, especially on the team's shoulders, because you're negotiating with the convention center, you're trying to get the tables, you're trying to get the electric drops. So much work goes into that. All of that behind the scenes infrastructure to make the convention work. And thinking back to those early cons where, we were scrambling to get the tables, where we had the physical paper printouts of the game schedule taped to the walls, where we were, trying to move tables around during the event, trying to scramble with table signs and all that. So hearing that we've really, hit the stride of the right setup, the exact right ratios. That's a huge accomplishment. That is a really good accomplishment.
I do want to jump in just because this is funny, and then I will shut up. So we have a couple people who've been coming the last couple of years. They actually have their own podcast. I'll give them a quick plug. It's called The Con Couple. They go to a ridiculous number of cons, and then on the way home, they basically record their conversation about how it went, that kind of thing.
Oh, I love that.
And they recorded an episode about our event this year, and they were driving home, and they talked specifically about the table numbering system that we have. So it's like, A1, B1, C1, D1, all the way up, and just how easy it is to find your table. And they basically were just like very complimentary that seems so simple, but it actually does show a lot of thought on how to make it easy for people to find. And as I listened to that, I cackled out loud because I know how we got there, and it did not start there. The first year, I believe we had 4 sections. So we had like open play, RPG, board game, and each section had its own numbering. So there were 4 A1s, 4 B1s, and people got lost and they were angry and it was insane. And I was like, oh, in my head, that made so much sense. You know, you just go to your section and then, you know, and then the next years we went to straight A1, B1, C1. But that first year was a disaster. And I was like, oh, we didn't just come up with that out of nowhere. Like that was an iteration. We got there.
If we would have had 4 different rooms.
Yes, probably. But it was just one room.
It was just one room. Yeah. Because, you know, we don't have big convention money.
No, not at all. Okay, so I want to shut up and I want these other 2 gentlemen to talk for a minute.
But hey, if anyone has that big convention money and you want to get a hold of us, it's Michael at the RPG Academy. Yes. Or also if you want to hire me, because I still need a good job. You know, I'll do anything.
Definitely hashtag call your boys TTJ. I will gladly accept that assistance.
Well, hey, Lewanika, let's throw it to you here. What was something great that happened? What was something you loved? Tell me something good.
So I will start with, actually, let me first throw it to Michael on the sound quality. Absolutely 100%. As a person with significant hearing concerns and issues, my ability to hear even some of the quietest of my players was fantastic. That almost never happens at conventions unless the convention is practically a bust and there's nobody there. So for it to be filled and busy and this good and me to hear without challenge, amazing. Lots of conventions could learn lessons from what you've done. That spacing was perfect. Perfect. Now, to your question, one of the things that I absolutely loved was just getting to see all my friends from the center of the country. Over the past 3 years that I've been going to AcadeCon, and the past 4 to 5 years that I've been meeting, talking, chatting with Michael and Chris and Tom and everybody else involved, all the faculty, I can tell you that I have built really strong for life friendships. Like I feel closer to them to some people that I see every day. And it was so warm and welcoming when I got there. Some of the hugs that I received were just, they filled my soul. And I truly hope that everybody who goes to this con has experiences like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be me or what have you, but with the people you game with. I got to game with people that I gamed with last year, and you know, they were contacting me because I was a little late putting in my games this year, and they're like, oh, your first couple games filled up. Are you going to be doing any more? I got to get to play at your table. Those are some of the things that I just, man, it's so amazing. That's
a good feeling.
To hear that, to feel that. And it actually changed the way I run games everywhere, in-person games, because I wanted to reward that kind of friendship, that kind of camaraderie. So I'm doing something different in 2025, and I intend to carry it through 2026, where at least with my Star Trek games, every character pre-gen I do is unique to the player who claims it.
Ooh.
And that way that's their character. And then the next year I come back around, or next time I come back around, or if they want a game with us digitally, they get to use that same character and that character grows. So they're part of my regular gaming group. It's not just people who signed up at a table anymore.
That is fantastic. Awesome. I love hearing that. And thank you for sharing that. I think that's kind of the core nugget, the foundational element of AcadeCon. Yes, it started as this crazy idea Michael had, but it always retained and still retains ongoing as it's still living and thriving. This is all about just hanging out with your friends. It is getting together in Michael's basement. It's just that Michael's basement is now the DCC, and there's 700 people showing up. And I think that is something that really truly makes AcadeCon special. It's something that I miss not being there as much as I want to be. just that camaraderie, that wonderful feeling of being back together with your friends, seeing your convention buddies, people being excited for your game and being stoked to sit down again, creating those memories, sharing those stories. Every convention has that, but obviously I'm biased here, but I think AcadeCon has something in its blood that makes that such a special, vibrant part of what makes it the best.
I go to a lot of conventions.
Yeah.
And I'm involved with the folks that run a lot of conventions. There aren't many that I want to stay up till 2 and 3 in the morning, regardless of how early I'm running my next game at. Because just getting a chance to hang with the rest of the group afterwards is what I want to do. I mean, when I was 20, maybe, but as I'm a person of vintage disposition, it's got to be a special core of people to make me want to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning with y'all.
I got to write that down because that is the best phrase I've ever heard.
I clocked that too. It's like, that's going in the lexicon.
That's going on a shirt.
I've been using it for far too many years. It itself is almost vintage, but we'll just leave that be as it is.
All right. How about you, Chris? Tell me something good. Tell me something great that happened.
Okay, so from, like, I'll call it an operations standpoint.
Yeah.
To see our group be able to set up, tear things down, reset things up. I mean, we were doing stuff in record time. I mean,
Good.
We got there Thursday. We had pretty much everything set up. We didn't have to do much Friday morning. And then karaoke, tear it down, set it up, tear it down, set it up. I mean, we were in and out in 15, 20 minutes.
Nice.
And for those that haven't seen the equipment that John brings, I mean, he's got 2 big speakers, he's got a nice computer, a projector, and all the cables. So if he were to do it alone, he's probably looking at 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easy.
So that was nice. I will piggyback on what you were saying about just the friendly atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went upstairs with a couple people just to play Geek Wars kind of last minute. And I was like, all right, we need a team. Well, just so happens that the team we joined were the 2 that did the podcast, the con couples.
Mm.
And when we sat down, they're like, oh, we're not going to be here for the whole thing. We've got to leave early. Yeah, they must have forgotten to leave early. 'Cause they stayed through the whole thing just because we were having so much fun. The face-off challenges, I completely told our team how to pander to the judges, which cracked them up, which afterwards they were all like, that was hilarious. So being able just to walk up and go like, hey, you guys mind if we join you? And have people be like, absolutely, let's have fun with it. And to have them just not leave. I don't know if they had another game or dinner or what, but for them to just be like, nah, we're having too much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was huge for me. My games all went really well. I love the fact that there are people who seek out certain people at the convention.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a couple of guys that love playing Battlestar Galactica with me, so I can count on having a good game. You know, my Star Wars Dread went really well. I was very happy with how it went. Honestly, I didn't have a bad game. I mean, for once, Michael and I got to walk away from the desk
And play
and
a
we
game.
played in a game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we
Yep.
got that
That's
weekend.
huge. That is
Yeah,
huge.
you guys are at the table next to me Sunday morning.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
it was great seeing you get to sit down and just enjoy the fruits of your labor. It was fun for me watching you do that, and I was a little jealous I didn't get to join you on that one because I love that game also.
Oh, yeah.
It just happened to be at the same time I was running. So
Though I will say, like, again, I am very grateful. It was one of the Matinee Adventurers group. It's a new group of GMs that we were able to bring in this year. They were a great addition. They absolutely get what we are trying to do and fit in so well. And one of their GMs is like, if we're coming, I am running a game for you. Like, that was like part of the deal is that they had to run a game for me and some of the other faculty. I'm absolutely had a great time. I don't know if Sunday morning at 9 a.m. is the right time for that game because I used a 5-hour energy to drink a caffeine pill just before I got to the table. That's where I was come Sunday morning. I was hanging on by a thread, but it was a wonderful game. But I probably Friday night at 9, it would have been S tier. It was still a great game. Very well ran. Great players, obviously, it's all faculty. We all knew the assignment. We all knew we were going to die. It's just how well could we do it? I would absolutely love to play that game or that system, those players, that GM anytime.
Well, what was kind of, I'll use the word special for me in that moment, was the fact that myself, you, and Brad could walk away from kind of our normal, I'll say, core assignments
Right.
as far as the registration and game library, and the fact that we had enough other people that we felt comfortable enough doing that. That was actually really nice. It shows that we've grown. It shows that the systems that you've put in place are gotten much simpler. I mean, let's be honest. The registration booth is, what's your badge number? Here you go. Have a
Yeah.
nice time. Where in the past it was not quite as smooth.
Yeah. Again,
not that it was
the thing I'm good at is
horrible.
iteration. Like I will do a thing and I will figure out do it a little bit easier, a little bit better. And it took 13 years, but I kind of think we got it down.
13 years to nail it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lucky number 13.
There we go.
We really didn't have any major hiccups that I know of.
If
Other
they
than-
did, they were handled by someone else. They didn't get to me.
That's
Other than the
good.
homeless guy walking in, but I managed to distract him and get him back out the front door.
Yeah.
Like,
We did
it
actually
really-
have another lady steal some candy, but at the end of the day, if she wanted candy that bad, I'm glad she got it.
Yeah,
Candy.
I'd have given it to her.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. I think anyone
Ashley.
would have, but
Yeah, we're not the group that lets people go hungry. That's for certain.
yeah.
We'll get you something.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, we'll get you something.
Well, that is great to hear, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. Let's talk a little bit about some of the special events, the special features, the things we have added to AcadeCon over the years. I mean, back in the day, it was just, let's get some tabletop games slapped down there. Let's get some people to run some games and have some fun. And then, we would do the pickup games, the card games, the board games, the in-between games, whatever we could scrounge up to play in those wee midnight to 3 a.m. hours when people would refuse to go to bed. But of course, we've added so much over the years. We've added trivia, we've added karaoke, we've added costume contest stuff. I think there's a lot of really cool things we've added. So I want to touch a little bit on some of those fun new features. Something we added recently that I want to start with is that whole like AcadeCon Junior vibe. Things really focused on welcoming in the next generation of players and gamers and game runners. I think, was it last year that we really kind of kicked that off, or 2
Yeah.
year ago?
Last year was
strength.
the first year was like official programming track. I think it's like most conventions call it a programming track, so that's what I said.
Sure.
We did it again this year. I actually think we were more successful last year, partly because I think maybe the theme of like horror and supernatural is most people like bought into the theme and they were wanting to run games like that, and they don't always lend themselves to those
A
types
younger
of games.
audience. Yeah.
But we did still have a number of events that were specifically labeled as Junior Academy, or even if they weren't, they had like the kid-friendly, 13 and under, specifically for that. And it is something I really want to continue to grow. It's probably the biggest thing I think our biggest area of leverage, because we do present ourselves as a family-friendly event. We try to make it very reasonable for families to attend, and just providing more and more options for kids or caregivers with kids to playing games together, I think is something we need to do more of. But I'm very excited, like you, that we, like, again, it took me a while to get there to think, maybe we should like specifically do that and make it searchable so someone can search Junior Academy and find every event that falls
The
under that category.
searchable part is the core of that iteration we needed.
Yeah.
It was out
Yeah.
there, but no one could find it.
SEO is key. SEO is
Yeah.
key.
Yes. So, Lewanika, I wanted to bring you in here because you specifically had something you wanted to share about this. So I want to give you the space here. Tell us why this was so important to you. Tell us why this was a great moment of this year's con.
So I have lots of kids. 6 of them to be exact, and 5 grandkids.
Dang.
Several of my kids play. Several of my grandkids play. And obviously I've played since I was a kid. And what I have tried to do in my gaming when I go to conventions is typically make sure the bulk of my games are accessible for younger people.
Okay.
And I can write that into a blurb and I can do all those things. But when Michael put out the all call, hey, we need people to specifically do this, I was like, yes, freedom. Now I can really lean in. I can make it the big thing, and it's not going to chase people away. It's going to draw people in.
Hmm.
So I loved that. I specifically ran an adventure designed for starting D&D. It was written by Sean Merwin of Mastering Dungeons, Ghostfire Gaming, and all of that. I had interviewed him on our show right after it came out, talked a lot about it, and told him I'm planning on running this. And it was a great starter adventure. My table had two young ladies, I think maybe 13, and the other might have been 9 or 10 or something like that, who were just amazing. Their dad was with them gaming, and it was wonderful. And to be honest, I didn't run the game any differently than I run any other game at a convention. All my games are all ages. All my games are learn to play. I put it in almost every write up.
Hmm.
That's just the way I prefer to run games. I want people to learn how to be here. But the fact that a dad could travel with his two young daughters to a game convention,
Hmm.
and those two young daughters were 100% all in, was amazing. I had the pleasure while I was waiting at the airport for my flight out, sitting right next to them while we were waiting for two separate flights for a while, and got to talk with them. And I saw them at several times during the convention. And it was like making friends.
Yeah.
I didn't go out there thinking that every person that sat at my table was going to be a person that's going to be a friend. I'm going to remember their names forever. But guess what? It was so memorable that it happened. And
Hmm.
these kids were knockouts at the table. Um, you know, Madison was one of the best barbarians I've ever seen play the game. Like, she was on point. They made some great decisions. Made one person who sat there, who happened to be a veteran player, probably about 30 to 40 years, like second guess his idea because she said what she wanted to do with passion and with knowledge and with foresight. And he rethought it. He was like, yep, that's the best plan. Actually did the thing that actually ended up saving part of the party in
Oh,
the event
nice.
as
Nice.
well. So, I
Nice.
mean, I cannot say enough. GMs out there, if you go to conventions, at least a couple of them. There's some games you can't run that way, but at least a couple of them make them accessible for the kids. We
Hmm.
got to get more of those kids in here. And if we're running the kinds of games that we loved when we were young, and we're running the kinds of games that we love right now, those kids are going to be doing this in 30 years too.
Mhm.
I need somebody else to be running the game when I'm too tired to sit up at night planning something. I just want to be able to throw some dice.
Yeah.
I need Madison. I need Reagan and her older sister to be running some games. So we got to get them trained up. We got to give them an opportunity to shine. And I was happy to do it.
That is excellent to hear. Thank you for telling that story. That is great. Michael, Chris, some other big feature we've added, we've developed, we've seen some great iterations over the years. What do you guys have for me?
I want to just really quickly piggyback on what Lewanika said, just because I had a pretty impactful moment as well. So Nick, who was also one of the very OG RPG Academy podcasters known as Vocal Glitter, because we could never get his audio out of anybody's microphone. Much like you, had stepped away because of life for many years and really wasn't actively a part of anything. He emailed me a few months ago, like, "Hey, I think I could come this year. Would you mind if I came up?" And I was like, "Of course, faculty for life." I gave him a badge, and he ended up bringing his son, who I think was around 9 or 10. I'm terrible with ages, but I think that's about where he was. And his kid had never played an RPG before. And I'm like, I'm going to find you a game. And I want to give credit to Chuck from Troll Lord Games, who was with us for the first time ever. He had an event that was running. I think it was like a 6 or 7 person table, which usually I don't like tables that were that big. But Nick told me that everyone at that table made sure that Nick's son had the best time. Like every player, like they knew the assignment in this moment, his first game, they kept the spotlight on him the entire time. And we have a new gamer for life. He was so excited about the game, could not wait to come again, could not wait to come back next year. And absolutely, I don't use the word indoctrinated, but we indoctrinated him. It was like the perfect first time game. And that's the sort of thing, not just at AcadeCon, but again, Chuck and the entire table, they get what we're trying to do. They fit in seamlessly with what we're trying to do. And to Lewanika's point, like we want it to be accessible. And I could see a different version of a game where some of these grognards are like, there's a 12-year-old at the table. I can't do the things I want to do. I can't say the things I want to do. It's going to slow us down. They don't know the rules. Not at all. 100%. Like, we're going to make sure this kid has the best time ever. And thank you, Chuck, and thank you, Nick, for being there. I can't wait to see you next year, buddy. All right. So, sorry, Chris.
Chuck,
That is awesome.
Chuck was amazing. I had a number of great conversations with him. Maybe next year I'll get a chance to sit at his table or vice versa or something. But he was a great person to talk with and get to spend some time with. We kind of linked up several times during the
We've
week.
been trying to get some of those folks to our convention for a while now, and they're like, we're going to make it happen this year. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be a permanent fixture going forward. I think they had a very good time as well and really appreciated what we're doing.
Awesome.
So, all right. So my apologies, Chris. What did you want to say there?
I love seeing karaoke grow. Every year there's tons of people that go up there and sing. If you'd have told me that karaoke would be at a role-playing convention, I would have laughed at you and said, yeah, right.
Kind of did. I'm like, you really want to do this? Like I had to be talked into it because I'm like,
Yeah, we
no.
did. We had to convince you to add that.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
But that was awesome. I will say I was entertained because there was another podcaster there that did a live show.
Ooh.
And to hear him talk about the struggles he had with getting his audio to work. And, I put a Yeti microphone in the middle of the table, and I'm like, I wish you would have told me that beforehand.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
Yeah. We've all made that mistake.
Yeah. But to just sit there and hear people have those same experiences, and we all did it. I mean, I always tell everybody, take 5 seconds, just ask me, hey, what have you not done right in podcasting? I'm like, well, that list is really long. Because I think we've all done different things, and I just thought it was neat to see him do that. I think it was real fun to see other people do that. I mean, we've done it a couple times with Redemption or with the RPG Academy to see other people doing it. I mean, we still have Lord McAllister that's going really well. I mean, I'm waiting for the day that doesn't fill up. Or your Scooby-Doo Dread.
That was my highlight this year, honestly. That might be the best version I've ever ran. I had 4 players that came to play. They were in it, and all of them were like, that was a top-tier game. I walked away just feeling so good about that game.
And that's how I felt after Star Wars Dread. I had 5 guys that walked in, and I was like, all right, so you're clone troopers. Here's your clone troopers. And they all went, we're the Bad Batch. I go, well, technically in canon, this is set before the Bad Batch. And they went, we're the Bad Batch. I'm like, sweet, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
And
Let's rock this.
Yeah.
the game went smooth. They embraced the few tweaks I made to the actual rules, which really aren't a ton, but they had a lot of fun with it. And to see them get that excited was really neat to me. I mean, other than that, we haven't really added anything new that I can think of as far as a new feature or a special event.
The biggest thing this year was the live stream game, which had some technological issues. We'd never tried to do that before. The GM who ran it also had never tried to do that before. So there were some learning pains. Again, iteration. I think we will be better equipped to do it again in the future. That is one thing that we've tried a couple different times to do that, but I don't think we've ever actually went for it with like a live stream event versus like podcast recording for later type of a thing. But yeah, I'm glad we added it. I'm glad it went as well as it did, but I'm looking forward to seeing next year's version.
So our first year, Tabletop Journey's first year at AcadeCon, we did a live stream that went flawlessly. And it was kind of like I was chuckling to myself when we were talking about what mistakes have you not made. Well, the one good thing I did to avoid making a lot of the freshman podcaster mistakes was I let my partner and dear friend Josh handle all things technical. As long as I don't touch it, it's probably going to go right because Josh has got it. Music, sound. He went to college for that. He honestly has been studying that his entire life. So how to make tech sing, and he being a computer engineer or programming engineer, like all that stuff is just like second nature to him. He comes, he's got a suitcase packed all the right way. He knows all the things. I literally have my own mic and my own mic stand, and I literally just show up, put it there, and he tells me, and he plugs it in himself. I don't touch nothing. I just sit down and smile and look pretty for the
That's
camera.
probably why I didn't know about it. Is it went so well, no one had to tell me anything about it.
Yeah, like it was smooth. And then the second year, Josh was not with me. So I punted again and let the guys from We Can Be Heroes do all the tech stuff. And that was not going to be live streamed, but that one ended up being recorded. So they did all the recording, they did all the editing, they sent it to us. We put our tags on it, they put their tags on it, and we were golden. And again, I literally just had to show up, hand them my mic and my mic stand, smile and look pretty. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what I do best. I smile and look pretty. So, that's my cheat code. I call Josh.
Yep.
So for all you podcasters out there, if you got a big problem,
Call Josh.
call Josh.
Yeah.
That is good to hear. That is great to hear. Yeah, AcadeCon works because of all the people that are willing to put in the time and invest their energy and sacrifice a weekend to make it happen. But also because we just keep learning from our mistakes, and we keep finding the solutions. It takes a couple years, but we find the solution and we find the right person to hand the torch to. Sometimes we have the idea of, okay, we need a guru for this. We need, the special expert for this, and we just have to take the time to find that right person. And sometimes it takes a couple years.
I would agree.
Let's talk about what's next. Let's talk about the future. First off, let's just dream. What do we want to add? What do we want to see in the future? Whether it is AcadeCon 14 next year, whether it is something we want to try to start wrangling so we can find that right expert, make a couple experiments and find the right iteration. What is something that we really want to add to the AcadeCon roster? How about we just start with Michael again?
Well, I will say what we are hoping to bring next year, which would be new, would be some board game tournaments. That is a big fixture of a lot of board gaming conventions where you actually go and there's certain games. I think Catan is like one of the most common.
Of course.
And you actually play and there's tournament rules and you score and you gain points and you can potentially earn your way into like qualifiers and regionals and all that kind of good stuff. There's a new sort of convention consortium, I guess, within like Ohio, Indiana, that we are working together. It's not officially official yet, but it very likely will be, where there's, I think, 9 conventions. And every time you go to any convention and you play in a tournament, not only could you potentially win that tournament, but you will gain points that carry over. So every convention you go to, you accumulate more and more points. And then there will be a grand prize winner or winners for who has the most points, kind of like how I used to do my poker leagues. So we are trying to make that happen, which is going to require a couple people to kind of dedicate their time. We're going to have to lay out, make sure we have enough space for it. We got to have the games that are going to be for the tournament. We got to have people that know how to run them. So there are some logistics issues that we are trying to navigate through. But I do think that as we grow, that is sort of a thing that people will come to expect. Like we are still more of an RPG con than a board game con by design. That's what we specialize in, I should say. But as we grow, that is something that I think people are going to come to expect. And I think it's a way for us to grow because we don't currently bring in those people who are like the tournament players necessarily. Mm-hmm. You know, we're more of a laid back play with your friends kind of thing. And we don't want to lose that vibe, but I think we got enough space for a few tables of like hardcore. I'm going to play Catan and, try to win type of a thing. So hopefully we get that worked out for next year. If not, beyond that.
Interesting. Okay. That sounds really cool. A lot of the cons I have visited in the past when I had the time and the funds to do that, as much as I love visiting the vendor hall and hanging out with friends and playing some casual games, it's always really cool to go see the big competitions, whether it's the big minis event that are laid out across all the tables or a big live show or some sort of ranked competition where there's a little bit of tension and drama to watch it from the audience. So that's really, really cool. That's something fun to work on. What about you, Lewanika? What do you think about?
I look forward to seeing some new and additional GMs for some of the systems.
Okay.
Kind of a thing that I see, and it's not unique to AcadeCon. I see it at a lot of conventions. If you're not playing the big 2 or 3 games, there tends to really only be one person doing Aliens, one person doing Star Trek,
Yeah.
one person doing something else. Acadecon 13 was really cool because there was a number of GMs doing various Everyday Heroes games. So there were more Everyday Heroes games at this convention than any I've been to in the last 2.5 years, which was amazing. Um, I really hope they put their games up before I put my games up, so I don't
Yeah.
foolishly schedule over their game.
They also
like I
came
did.
in very late. They were some of our last special guests
Yeah.
that came in.
And I would say the same thing for the folks at Flag Bearer Games with Nations and Cannons. I have all their stuff, and I actually traveled with their almanacs because it's a smaller book and I could read it on the plane. Would love to have played in their game, couldn't. But again, to the point we talked about earlier, wonderful people. I finished my last game on Sunday. They were not done with their game, and I kind of stopped by to say hi to a few folks and goodbye. And they're like, "Do you want to sit in for the last combat?" And they threw me a character, and I did actually get to play
Oh,
for the last
nice.
combat, and it was very fun. So I look forward to seeing on some of these alternate systems additional GMs because that when you start getting 2 or 3 different people running Star Trek, then maybe I could actually play Star Trek because I
Yeah.
only get to run. Maybe I could play Everyday Heroes because any convention I go to, I'm really the only GM who would run that, so I end up running it, or I ended up scheduling over it. So I would love to see a few more games in these alternate systems so that those of us who run games get to play them as well, especially
Hmm.
some of those smaller, those newer or lesser known
Yeah, the more
systems.
niche systems that aren't
Yeah.
the big populars that everyone wants to
Yep.
play. I love that idea. That's an awesome idea. That's a great thing. And I think that's something that all of us who have lived in this era of podcasting and streaming where we want to share our hobby, that's what we're always hoping for. We're always hoping to inspire somebody to pick up the book, pick up the dice, so that we don't have to and we can take a break. But ultimately, so that we can spread the hobby, spread the love. Playing a tabletop game is art. It is improv. It is collaborative storytelling. It is such a wonderful space to learn to express yourself in, to learn how to the how to interact with people, how to kind of step outside yourself and learn different types of interactions, learn empathy, learn those very core important social systems where it's not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about everybody else. You're trying to incorporate and pay attention to everybody else. So I think all of us older gentlemen here on the mics, we want to see those next generations stepping up and picking up the torch, picking up the dice, making it happen. So I think we've always hoped it would just happen organically, maybe taking a more active step in what we're doing to kind of make that happen. Just to spitball, to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying there, maybe something we can work on, maybe not for next year, maybe next, I don't know, but like almost like I know we've done panels. I know we do panels
Yep.
frequently, but almost like a workshop, like more of a here's how you do it. Here's how you run the game. I love this system. I want to teach you how to run it. So it's basically just a panel. I'm reinventing the wheel here, but just putting a little spin on it, pushing that iteration. Like, hey, here's an independent system or a newer system that I love so much. I want to help you run it at your next con, your next event, your next home game. Like that kind of spin. Maybe we can see something like that.
I might have some news on that front because I am a
Oh,
special guest at a couple cons up here in my neck of the woods, New England, and one of them I'm in the process of recruiting some guests to help me with a panel about um, running different systems at cons. So
Nice.
I'm hoping to get about 4 or 5 people from about 4 or 5 different systems, so we can kind of go over the basics and hopefully gin up some excitement for cons in general. So if that works really well, I will definitely be reaching out on the Discord to all the other
Duplicate.
folks so we can see if we
Yeah.
can duplicate that.
Nice,
With folks like
nice.
Chuck and the folks from Everyday Heroes and Flybearer Games, if we each could throw one person up on that panel, I can absolutely get and uh was it Jake, the guy who ran Daggerheart, Jeremy
Zach.
or Jacob? Zach, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Zach Weber.
Yes.
Yes. If with just those folks alone, that would be an exciting panel like that. I
Yeah.
think that would be a lot of fun to put something like that together. So that's something I'm kind of looking into, seeing how I could get that kind of put together at a couple of the cons I'm going to help
Cool.
that out.
Awesome, awesome. Chris, what about you, buddy? What do you think?
So I would love to find a way to get people more excited about a lot of the panels and some of the other special events. I've run several panels at AcadeCon, and I mean, Michael and I used to do the,
How to be a
GMing 101.
yeah DM yeah how to be DM.
And I mean, it's awesome when I can sit down with 2 or 3 people and help them become better GMs, but it'd be nice to fill the room.
Yeah.
I also understand that there's so many great GMs and so many great games being run that people are like, I don't really need to go learn to be a better GM when I can stay here and play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand there's a balance. I don't know how to, attract people to the panels more and the special events. Obviously karaoke goes well. Geek Wars is slowly building back up now that it's back, but I'd love to see some more of that stuff. I know there's other game shows and improv shows that I would love to see come back and love to see people get involved with those. I also know that takes work.
Yeah.
It's not easy, even though it's an improv show. Being a guy who ran an improv troupe for 5 years, there's still a lot of work that goes into getting people there and everything else. So
One thing that is an opportunity for us is, so the way our games are designed on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, they generally go 9 to 1, 2 to 6, and 7 to 11. Like those are the standard 4-hour blocks. But there is no requirement that you follow that. So some people will start the game at 10. Some, especially if it's a 2-hour game, right? But the idea is it's supposed to be in that 4-hour window. But I've never said that you have to do that. If we were to say you have to do that, then you could schedule your panels 8 to 9, 1 to 2, 6 to 7, and then there would not be any games happening at the same time as the panels. Not all the panels, because we have more panels than we have space for that. But you could set aside this panel, there would be no game. So, people are still going to grab foods, people are still going to take a break, but it would eliminate, well, I'm in a game, so I can't go type of a thing. I've also heard that some of our panels, they're the same time. So I can't go to both. I got to pick one. Karaoke and Geek Wars overlapped by an hour, I think. So Geek Wars ran into the first hour of karaoke, and then all of a sudden everybody from Geek Wars went to karaoke. So there could be some opportunity to try to work on scheduling so that they don't conflict. But part of that, we're still in my basement feel, is run your game how you want, where you want. I feel like we have enough events that it's okay if a few don't follow that, but it's something to consider. If we continue to get that feedback that I wanted to go to the panel but I couldn't, then maybe we start enforcing that time block a little bit more.
I've seen conventions that do 4-hour and 2.5-hour blocks, because there are some games that are, when I'm running a junior academy game, I don't want that to be a 4-hour game. Right. So it would make sense to do a 2-hour game, and then I might run 2 junior academy games in that case to fill that block. But I have found that panels early work best, because people will kind of filter in, and then they start their games later in the day. So a panel at 8 or 9, and then start your games around 11 or 12 works well. You know, for me this year I was very focused on capturing some of the junior academy feel on Friday, and then Saturday I ran another game which was pretty much a level 1 learn to play as well. It wasn't specifically junior academy, but again, it was that low level, and I had some young people at that one as well, and that was on purpose. So I kind of scheduled myself out of either running or attending panels at the time I would normally like to do them. So something I'm looking at is how do I schedule what I want to be able to do and still be able to do some of those other things. So I'll definitely be chatting with you, see what I can do to lend a hand in getting some of that going as well.
Awesome.
Time management and scheduling is always the most difficult part of this hobby.
That is the dragon at the end of the dungeon is actually scheduling.
It's just scheduling or capitalism, but mostly scheduling.
And I beat it every day this past weekend except Sunday.
Except Sunday.
Sunday was the one game that went long, and it was the one game that I showed up that I was not quite able to run quite as early, but my voice was so done. It was like, I got to get water. I got to get extra cough drops. It was hard to get started Sunday morning.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot of the great stuff, a lot of the good stuff. Two rapid fire questions that are just, tangential here. Lightning round. Only 2 questions though. How was the food this year?
About the same as always.
About the same as always.
I got
Lucky's
some
was awesome.
very vocal.
Lucky's was awesome.
Well, I think he's talking about the concessions.
But I mean, yes, the concessions, but also like, what about our neighbors? Like, where could we send our folks to?
There were some really nice restaurants around the area, and I got some very vocal feedback about the food. I tried it one day because I had to, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it tasted great, but it was overpriced and small portions. But that's just concessions. Food. But there were no like chicken tenders. They didn't have hamburgers or chicken or sandwiches or salads. It was like 2 sort of like, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like your standard Americana fare. And a lot of our people were like, what is this? And I don't want it.
Oh, no.
So as a person who works in the food industry, what I can tell you is the food presented very well. It looked very well. But as a person who does not eat breaded fried food, I was cut out of everything they had on the menu there. There wasn't any meat product that wasn't breaded or fried.
Ouch.
Oh.
And I mean, the elote was there, and I probably would have done that, but at that price, as much as I love elote, I wasn't paying that money for elote.
Gotcha. Yeah. And it seems.
I got a truck that literally is. I can see the truck from if I open up my window, that I could get elote for like a third of what they were charging.
Yeah. That seems to be a persistent problem with what we do.
Yes.
And then what about accommodations? How was the hotel world? Because I heard some rumors.
Chris, you want to take that one?
The Holiday Inn was great.
Yeah, it was 5-minute drive, easy.
I got my road bacon the couple times I had to Uber. One of them was less than $8. One of them was like 8 and change. Yeah. I mean, it was brilliant. And Holiday Inn Express, road bacon, and Foodoraka cycle pancakes can't beat it. Just cannot beat it.
The Vitality Hotel, I went over there. It's different. When you walk in, there's no front desk. There's an iPad basically that you check in on, and then they give you a QR code to use at your door.
Weird.
To get in and out of your door. There was not much staff there. I did go in and look at one of the rooms. They're a work in progress. There's still cement floors. They haven't put the carpet down yet. The bathrooms were a little oddly designed. Like they put the towel hooks in the shower. Or how do you dry off a towel?
Handy.
Like if I take a shower first, how do I dry off my towel if you're going to go take a shower?
Handy.
Like it's
convenient.
Yeah. I see some of the things they're doing I think are good. I don't know their long-term plan. The weird light on the back of the bed where if you pushed it enough times it became a strobe light.
Oh no.
Literal strobe light. I'm like, I don't know why you would ever put that in a hotel room.
Oh, I do.
I mean, there's a
I know
couple
exactly
good
why
reasons.
you would do
There's
that.
a couple good reasons.
I mean, I don't know if they're good reasons,
Right.
but there's a couple
There's a
reasons.
couple
I'm
reasons.
just saying.
And it would be like all that aside, it's also very expensive. Like it is probably about $100 a night more expensive than the Holiday Inn, which is a 5 to 6 minute drive away.
And we've spent a lot of time at that Holiday Inn. I the couple of times I've gone recently, it's been a good experience at that Holiday Inn.
They take care of us. So
shout out to John, who was the night guy for the
weekend,
Friday and Saturday night. He is amazing. I think the third year he's been there that I've been going, and he's just a wonderful human being. He takes good care of people, keeps an eye on us when we're doing all of our things. He handled a little issue with somebody who should not have been in the hotel brilliantly on Saturday night. And, just I love that hotel and I love that staff. And it's really cool seeing the same folks a couple of years in a row. You don't usually see that at hotels year in, year out.
You won't see that at the Vitality because there's nobody there.
Yeah. I mean, I very rarely, and I go to conventions year after year, do I see the same people at that hotel the following year, except for at this Holiday Inn. Big time shout out for those folks. It was brilliant.
Good to hear.
It was a lot of little things they did too. Like, so we stayed until Monday morning. Like, we got done wrapping everything up at 6 o'clock. I don't want to drive 5 hours back. I'm old. I'm not going to use the word vintage. I'm old. So we got up Monday morning and there was 2 inches of slush on our car.
Ooh.
Well, we didn't plan on bringing a snow brush. Ooh. The staff walked out with his personal snow brush and was like, here, let me help you with that.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, how many hotels the staff would have come out, go to their own car and help people brush off their cars? Yep. Like most hotels would have said, good luck, sucker. There's a gas station next door. Go buy a cheap snow brush or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just did things like that. And at night when we're like, hey, can we borrow the conference room? A few of us want to have a few drinks. They're like, it's already unlocked. Help yourself. We knew that was going to happen. I mean, they had posters up in the lobby, promoting AcadeCon and welcoming us. I mean, to me, I really like the Holiday Inn.
That's nice.
If it was across the street, that would be even better. But 5 minutes away is fine. Like, I can't.
Yeah, it's close enough.
And we do we can make like a train sort of situation, like a shuttle. Like if people don't want to go there because of the distance, like talk to us. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not afraid to drive people back and forth. As long as they can get in the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. Good to hear. All right. So let's wrap things up here tonight. We've talked about a lot of great stuff. AcadeCon the 14th, AcadeCon 2026. Mike, what can you tell us?
So there's still some rearranging because graphically I don't know how to represent it yet, but I have my artist, J. working on it. So AcadeCon, one for all and all for one. It's a swashbuckling Three Musketeers theme.
Oh, God.
Yes.
So I got to figure out how to make that
Can
look
I go
right.
get my sword?
So it's one
I've got a sword. I should go get my sword.
You should go with sword.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be good.
D'Artagnan. Yes. And I'm specifically talking about the 90s Disney movie with Oliver Platt, Kiefer Sutherland.
God, my son.
Yep. That's the one.
Oh,
but it's got Tim Curry as Count Richelieu. So
oh boy.
I prefer dead.
yeah, one for all for one. The AcadeCon 2026.
And more for me.
And what dates are we looking at? Do we have those locked in yet?
Yes, it is the second weekend in November because of some scheduling. So it's going to be the 13th, 14th, and 15th. I did get interviewed for the news, and that was his first question is, why isn't this event on Friday the 13th? And I'm like, well, it couldn't be, but then next year will be. So we will be on Friday the 13th next year.
Well, we'll sneak in a couple throwback horror games for the
exactly,
vibes.
Yes, for the vibes.
Yeah, for the vibes.
All right, and let's end on that. We'll look forward to next year. In between now and then, of course, the planning team is going to probably take a little bit of a break to recover, and then jump into overdrive planning and working. We have such a great team put together. Again, working by iterations as we do. I think we can build on the success of this year and last year, and really see a good, easy replication and add in a little bit to keep it going. So stay tuned to all those loyal attendees.
Yes.
Definitely spread the word, bring your friends, keep an eye on the website, the podcast, the streams, the socials, for everything that's going to come up. For any new folks out there, conventions can be intimidating and scary, but this is just such a good one to warm up with. It is so easy.
It really is a good first con for somebody.
Yeah, that's something.
The best little big con you'll ever go to.
The
Big
best
Trouble in Little Con, season 15.
Oh, yes! Oh my
Yes.
God! What an exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. That's
You heard it here first.
We have just broken the story. 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years of themes revealed in less than 2 minutes. Wow. But seriously, yeah. I remember early on as we were, you and I, Michael, were slugging it all out on our two shoulders to make AcadeCon happen. So many people told us that this was their first con, or this was one of their first cons, and they thanked us so much for putting in the work and making it a good first experience. And I think even with growing, even with adding so many people to the team and adding all these new features, everyone has really maintain that drive and focus. So huge thank you to all of the AcadeCon volunteers. Huge thank you to every single person who ran a game.
Yes.
Huge thank you to all of our vendors, every single person who stepped up and said, we want to be part of AcadeCon because we love it. We love the people. We love the vibes. Thank you to every single one of you. We are going to keep putting this together as long as we're able, I think.
That's the plan.
I don't think Michael's ever going to stop, so we'll see what happens in the future. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep having fun. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for listening. Thank all three of you for sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your stories, and what a great episode. What a great show. What a great con. And I'm excited for next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely the same. Thank you, buddy, for being here.
And pay attention to the channel for those listening, because I will be breaking down each of the individual sessions that I ran on the Right Path vlog over the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to be able to talk about each of those games because they were so much fun. And thanks for having me. It was amazing.
If you did attend, you'll be getting a survey soon through the Tabletop Events news email thing. So again, those iterations, You'll have a chance to give us feedback, what went well, what we could do better, what we can add, what we can subtract. Your feedback is very helpful. Don't tell me about the food. I know. I'm not trying to be dismissive. There's nothing I can do about it. So sorry.
Some things are.
Some things just are. Yes. I agree.
But if you go to the Holiday Inn,
yes,
and you get some of that road bacon in a cup on your Uber on the way over, 2 extra pancakes and a cup of road bacon, baby. Yeah. All the things.
Vintagely inclined in road bacon. Those are the two colloquialisms from the beginning of the week. All right. Well, again, thank you everybody for watching now or in the future. Thank you, Chris Lewanika and Caleb G, especially for joining us tonight for this special episode. We will be back in 2 more weeks for another episode. That actually is right before Thanksgiving. We'll have to talk about that, but I'll be up for it. If you guys are.
I'm up for it.
To talk about some stuff that's going on. We got Class Warfare. I am running Barbarians next week, and I am so excited about that game. In fact, actually, I need Lewanika when we're done to jump off first because I got a question for Chris and Caleb G. Then listen to the pod. Check out the YouTube channel, the RPG Academy YouTube channel. Jake is crushing it. We are just rocketing views and subscribers. We are so close to hitting money, and we need that money so badly, so please consider subscribing, but also interact, watch the videos because it's top tier stuff. Chris, any final words? And
Jake gives the absolute best hugs. Like, honestly, one of the best hugs I got in the convention was Jake. He is a warm blanket.
Yes.
He's a big guy. Just plan for AcadeCon next year. I know we're all going to plan some great things. Obviously, I'm hooked on Star Wars Dread, so I'll be running that and some other stuff. So come join us. I'll show you where the Holiday Inn is.
Fantastic. Yep. Lewanika, final words?
If you're having fun,
you're doing it
right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Night all.
Bye.